And our panelists include a distinguished set of domain experts, Shri Saurabh Shankar Seth, Vice President of Sales at AIPL, Shri Gaurav Jain, Vice President of Naredko Delhi, and Shri Vishal Raheja, Founder and Managing Director of InvestoXpert. Amita, before we kickstart the conversation, Amita, we ask that you please felicitate each one of our gentlemen as a special token of our appreciation for being here. Thank you so much, gentlemen. It's such a pleasure and an incredible honor. All right. And with that, Amita, over to you.
Thank you, Pooja, for that. And welcome, gentlemen. Thank you for taking out your time. And we are here to discuss as far as the Realty Conclave and awards are concerned, because this is something that has been so enlightening, especially when it comes to the real estate market and how wide it is and how we are looking at the future of it as well. Let me begin as far as Mr. Seth. You know, the future, the growth trajectory that we are looking at in the real estate market is humongous. What is your point of view when it comes to, we've been asking this question to all of them who have been coming on stage for the next 5 years or for the next 10 years. How has been the trajectory, the growth market?
Hi, good evening all. I think post-COVID, you know, there's been a phenomenal growth in the real estate sector. And largely, I think that's been backed by very robust demand in our sector, some very supportive government policies, and some very strategic initiatives. And I think it is just the beginning. With the kind of infrastructure upgradation, you know, which a few dignitaries have spoken about, the ones who came before us, I think that is going to contribute largely to the kind of growth this sector is going to see, even in the times to come. I personally feel there is going to be a massive growth in the commercial side of real estate, which will be largely led by massive urbanization, very high economic growth around us, and sharp rise in disposable income. So these are the factors which I feel will largely contribute to the growth which the commercial real estate sector will see. Talking about how the growth looks from here over the next few years, I think it promises to give very steady returns to both the investors and the developers in terms of return on their investments. So the next 4 or 5 years, particularly in growth centers, Dr. Hiranandani spoke about it. You know, he spoke about the Mumbai region. We're talking about the NCR region. I think these are going to be phenomenal growth centers for both investors and for developers.
Mr. Jain, would you want to take it here forward from here? Because when we talk about leadership strategies and the complexities, how would you actually imbibe that in the challenges that you face in the real estate sector, sir?
See, our sector now, for the first time in last 10 odd years, can be seen as, you know, a very organized sector. So therefore, when you get organized, obviously a lot of responsibilities and some systematic changes comes into play. Leadership is a word here which is definitely earlier used to be driven by, you know, people who were running the show and therefore were the leaders. But now for the first time, you really require a leadership in the business to sustain the challenges which are, you know, making it absolutely like any other business, you know. So the glamour is gone here. There is no punting anymore now. It's a very fact of the matter business right now. And the advantage of the business right now is, for the first time, it has got coupled with the economy as a whole. So when we become a $10 trillion economy, as per some of the analysts saying in next 10 years' time, real estate will also become from currently, if we are a 4 trillion economy, to 10 trillion in next, let's say 10 years' time. Real estate will also grow this 2.5 times, So earlier this was not the case. We were actually doing some laggards and some leadership, depends on the environment, political, here and there. But now everything's got disconnected. We are an industry for the first time on its own, and therefore the onerous responsibility on every developer across the country is to ensure that he delivers and deliver the quality which is expected. I'll give you a simple example, and I know we are short on time because you'll ask 3 questions from each one of us.
Yes.
There was a time when, and I give you this in every talk I sit in, there was a time in this country where we all saw the Fiats and the ambassadors, But when Maruti came in, today, you buy any car, it's a great car. You only buy a car, whether it's a Rolls Royce or a simple, Alto for that matter, because that is what you can afford, that is what you like, that is what a family size is all about. But it's not that that car stands on the ground because it is raining or it is, some snowstorms are there or it is too hot. So it's a choice now. So it's a great product. Similarly, in real estate now, we need to have a great product, irrespective of the location it is in, irrespective of the size it is at, or irrespective of the price point it is at, actually. So expensive need not be the right product. Every product should be the right product, and therefore the leadership is required for us to deliver that whole ecosystem, which is, I would say, the most complex ecosystem, because we don't have a factory, we don't have a shop, we don't have a product which is standard. Everything changes across the board every second day, actually. And I think Saurabh, being the marketing and the salesperson, knows it the most, how to navigate that changing market requirements. And some of us.
Well, that's something to think about, of course, because you've gone pretty deep when it comes to describing the industry. But, Mr. Raheja, what have been the trends that you've been witnessing as far as the real estate investments are concerned? Would you want to talk on that?
Hi, good evening. So I think the trend of the customer is slightly changed, and I have seen post-COVID, the customer expectations are very high in terms of product. Earlier, we used to sell real estate, customers very more specific about the locations only. But now, customer is concerned about the location. Yes, that plays a vital role. But customer is very much thoughtful about the product which developer is developing. The kind of what kind of expertise developer is having in past in terms of product range, I would say, the product amenities, the construction quality, and the common area space which customer feels that he will be having it for a long term. Because individually, people used to build their own houses wherein they are short with the amenities. So I think customers are very, very particular about their home now. They are very particular about the common areas, what kind of a material is being used during the construction. Customers are more educated now, and because of with the help of digital world, everything is very much accessible. Everything you can just track it on internet. So there are a lot of trends, I think, and the sizes has been a major role. People are more particular about the bigger sizes now because nuclear families are there, but still people want to have a bigger apartments. So this is a slight change which we have partially seen in last 2-3 years.
So that is you're owing to the consumer awareness as well, Mr. Soon. But if we talk about, Mr. Seth, I beg your pardon, but even if we talk about, the key factors that one needs to keep in mind before the purchase of a commercial property or an investment, sir, what would you believe would those key factors be?
No, I think Mr. Raheja has rightly pointed out, which I would agree to a very large extent, that the set of buyers that you interact with today are very well informed. They're very well educated. They're aware of what's happening in the market. Gone are those days when, one would fall prey to the gullible promises, with the regulatory framework being in place. People know the ins and outs of the project. But to kind of narrow it down in terms of what should be on the top of one's checklist before making an investment, I think gone are those days when it used to be location, location, and location. I think to identify the right developer with who you want to invest your hard-earned money is the most important factor. So the pedigree of the developer actually will play a very crucial role. So you would want to invest only with someone who knows about the business and is absolutely committed to deliver up to, one's promises. So choosing the right developer is extremely crucial, and I think it has to hold the paramount position in one's decision making. Before one moves to the second factor, which I feel will be choosing the right product. Because today, if you see, the market is flooded literally, with products which have come up from, some very new developers who we haven't heard about. Which is, I won't say there's anything wrong in it. New developers can also come up. Mr. Matharu is, doing a fantastic development. He just spoke about it as a marquee development which is coming up. So one just needs to delve very deep into the product one is investing into. Because at the end of the day, the long-term value of your investment will only get unlocked if you've done that assessment in the right manner. The connectivity with the right roads, or how strong is the neighborhood, the potential of upside, all these are factors which one should be mindful of when you are choosing the right product, whether it is a residential real estate asset or a commercial real estate. And of course, the third thing, which is a slightly cliched one, is the right location. So the likelihood of any individual's investment going wrong, if all the three check boxes are ticked, I think are largely mitigated. Otherwise, there's always that 1% element where things can go wrong despite having done all your due diligence in the right manner.
But the factors that we talk about as far as policies are concerned, do you want to talk on that? How it can be integrated in the system, and how do you believe that kind of coordination is needed when it comes to policy implementation?
Real estate traditionally, historically, has always made money because of the policy, I would say, insider trading. So there is no part of this country where, developers earlier did not used to get the insight into policy. So policy does play an important role. But, as I said, it's about the future of real estate we're talking about. So policies have become rather transparent. So some of the policies which have come out in the past, let's talk about, for example, RERA part of it. Some of the policies which are today, letting you build highways across the country, but, land is a problem in terms of acquisition, is also a policy, but it's got its bottlenecks also. So today, when you say land acquisition bill, though it is good for the, some of the members of the society, but it has also stalled some of the major projects which have taken some time to, see the light of the day once again. So but the good thing is government has realized that, policy as well as development has to go hand in hand. And the agenda of the government in last 10 years is definitely that, development is the key platform. Every part of the country today, irrespective of which government, which political party is there, they know that for them to be showing the results, they have to do work at the ground level. So there's only talk. We have to walk the talk, actually. So policies, and that will be the hallmark. The good thing is we'll keep making better policies, making cleaner policies. So in every part of the society today, net zero is going to be the next big thing. We are aware that, environmental is key issue. So government is working very closely on that. So as I said, policies are a very important part of real estate development. And I think we should not be too much worried about that anymore, which used to be one of the, I would say, tools which people used to, depends on the part of the business you are at, make money or lose money,
Well, that's the kind of assurance that one needs when it comes to investment.
Well, it is an assurance right now. I don't think you need it anymore. I think any builder across the country knows that, he is not living in a world of policy changes. If there is a change in the government or there is a change in the mindset, policies have, again, they've got decoupled with the government of the day, actually.
And that's the word stability that we are looking for. But you've been talking about, when it comes to trends, what do you believe are the criteria that one needs to look forward to, especially when it comes to potential investment?
So customer should check out the background of the developer. I think that's most important, and also to ensure that he's investing with the right developer. Because in past, we have already seen so many developers could not fulfill their commitments. So I think that is one of the major decision making should be by the customer, that the kind of a credibility developer carries, the kind of an expertise of delivering the projects in past is quite very important role. And also the planning of the project, which is most important, that kind of a execution which he's planning, whether it is compatible or not, according to the conditions of the market and according to the flexibility in the opportunities in the market. So these are the things I think customers should be very, very conscious about. And we always ensure we are a part of the we are kind of a channel partner to the customer who facilitate the transactions between the developers and the customers. So we play a vital role in that, educating them, making sure that we educate our customers that which way they have to invest, because sometimes customers get little greedy about the pricing, like this is little cheaper, why should I not invest here, why you're suggesting this project, this is slightly even expensive. So we always try to make them understand, see, yes, I think everything cheap is not good, right? If you wanted to have a quality, you have to, I think, spend a little more. So that's what we always prefer, and we always suggest our customers, be specific about the product, be specific about the brand you are investing, and do check before investing.
And real estate is a long-term investment, as you mentioned, sir. But even if we talk about, Mr. Jain was also talking about how regulatory bodies and developers that need to work in close coordination. Have you faced such kind of challenges, sir, before?
Not really. See, it's a different, world you feel you're working in ever since, the law has come into place. The customer feels more protected. The developers feel more protected. The law requires mandated project registration, disclosure of project details, adherence to timelines. So I think it has done more good than creating any obstacles. Of course, see, anything will always have certain cons. So there are certain obstacles which come our way, like, there are state level variations and there are compliance burdens on the developers, which kind of mitigate the operational efficiency and the overall profitability of the project in some way. But I think it is for the larger good for all the stakeholders of this trade.
All right, that even sounds better, sir, but I have a difficult question now for you, sir. The vision. How do you foresee the future, sir?
At Naredco, I can tell you one thing very honestly. We got something called as the young blood, The children of the developers are coming into the business by choice. So that is one very strong sign that the future is very bright in real estate. But definitely, this business is there for the strong-hearted. There is not a dull day. There's never a dull moment. Anything can change tomorrow morning for multiple reasons. So, but, when you have a matter of choice, so I know so many of our friends, whose kids are now becoming budding real estate professionals. Even my daughter is going to be one now. So definitely future is very bright. However, as I said, keep saying one thing. What is important is that, if you see some of the companies like DLF, Prestige, Godrej, how are they making money? They're not making money by their pricing is more than, let's say, price of the builder next door. But they're offering a transparency in the operations of being a listed company, by ensuring that whatever they are talking about, they deliver. So their P multiples are huge, I'm told DLF and Prestige have P multiple to the extent of 100 and 131, which shows that, there are less players who are honest and, people can invest into them, and therefore their pricing is high. So I think future is something, we have to be very, very cognizant of the fact that whatever we have in India today, by the time we reach the levels of Europe, US, right, there are at least 100 times multiple there, So happy to be part of the business so far.
Well, it sounds optimistic to say yes. Sir, last comment to you. Market dynamics and the future question, of course, what it holds for in the real estate market.
I think market is being great in last 3 years, and we are very confident that market will stay very, very good for next couple of years, because the demand and supply is quietly managed. There is a less supply coming into the markets. In some micro markets, yes, there is a excess of supply, but majority markets, the new launches are performing great. And considering the population, I think still there is a lot of scope in terms of market share. Considering the example with China having the similar population, and considering the market size of Indian real estate, we are still, I think, little far, and I think so far from there. So still we see there's a lot of scope in Indian real estate, which will be Tier 2 cities are getting developed now. Tier 3 cities are even started getting developed. So this market will keep on moving. Yes, there will be a time that market will be little stagnant, but yes, it will again rise. This is how the real estate been working for long now.
So far, the future looks bright when it comes to the real estate market. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining in.
Thank you.
A huge round of applause. And of course, we finished before time. Thank you. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you very much. So we will be now waiting for that moment. Of course, I believe, yes, the day has been quite long for you. All right.
much, Amita, and to our entire panel. Thank you for sharing such a rich range of anecdotes and insights from your personal as well as your professional journeys.